Did you know that some of your favorite collectibles might be fake? That's kind of scary to think about, right? But it could be true, guys. With every popular Marvel Legends action figure that we see sell out, there's a counterfeit action figure to go along with it so it can meet demand. Because if Hasbro won't meet demand, then the bootleg market will. Knockoff Marvel Legends action figures are something of a sensitive subject for collectors because some people enjoy collecting them. Others obviously don't want anything to do with them because they're out to collect Marvel Legends, not someone's facsimile of a Marvel Legend. But guys, the quality of these knockoffs can be all over the place. Some of them are really good, others are pretty bad. How do we tell the difference in this day and age? Soulmates, imagine trying to finish your collection. You see some gaps because you were busy at one point or you couldn't find a certain toy. So you go on the internet to try and find that action figure and fill that missing spot in your collection. And lo and behold, you find it. After paying your hard-earned money, just think how disappointed you would be to get an action figure that isn't the real thing. Then you realize the gap isn't filled. The collection is no longer complete. It doesn't do anything to satisfy your urge. It doesn't do anything to scratch that itch, and it doesn't do anything for your collection. Not to mention, you could possibly be out a bunch of money on top of all that. So it's a lot of grief that we don't need in our lives. Let's see if we can figure out a way to avoid those pitfalls together, guys. One of the first things you should do, guys, is take a look at the packaging and match it against the actual packaging from Hasbro. It's very easy to find pictures on the internet, and the fake will often have logos that are missing, like the Marvel logo or the Hasbro logo, or the logo will be completely different altogether. The box might even be a completely different shape. Make sure it's the same shape as the actual release. Make sure the logo and the artwork is exactly the same too. Pay attention to all the small details. Go over it with a fine-tooth comb. Make sure that it matches exactly. Another thing you want to pay attention to, guys, is the way the action figure's packed. Sometimes it'll have tape over certain parts where Hasbro wouldn't put any tape in. Sometimes the KO will have accessories packed in completely different from how Hasbro does. And other times the insert might look completely different from Hasbro's packaging. So again, it's one of those things you have to compare and contrast and make sure that it's exactly the same as the actual Hasbro product. On the action figure itself, guys, look for paint apps that are different. A lot of times the colors will not match exactly the same. Sometimes they'll be lighter, sometimes they'll be darker. But very, very rarely will the KO have identical paints to the actual Hasbro product. Usually the colors are off or the paint apps don't match, so it makes it a little easier for you to tell. Besides that, look at the quality of the sculpt, guys. Are there huge gaps where there shouldn't be? Do the pieces look like they fit together? Do the joints have a loosey-goosiness about them that shouldn't be there? Also, is the action figure smaller than it should be? Those are all great tells, guys. Also, the details might be a little bit off on the sculpt. Maybe the eyes don't look completely right. Maybe the mask doesn't look completely right. Watch out for action figures that have pins that shouldn't have pins. That's very common too. I want you guys to remember, there's always something that's off about a bootleg, because there's a lot of attention to detail involved in these, and very, very rarely will they get every single little thing correct. There's always going to be something. For what it's worth, bootlegs are getting better and better, guys, so it's easy to get fooled by one if you just have one out of the box side by side with another. Some of those KOs have good paint detail, some of them have good articulation, some of them are even good action figures in their own right. But the fact still remains, guys, that they are not Marvel Legends, they never will be Marvel Legends, and they will never satisfy your collection. Guys, do you have any experience with counterfeit action figures? Have you ever bought any? And if you did, what are they like? Let me know down in the comments, guys, because I'd love to hear from you what kind of experiences you've had, if any. Stay safe out there while you're collecting, guys. Be sure to check out my other videos, and I'll be back with you again very soon, Soulmates. Have a great day, everyone, and happy collecting.